Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do a little like random video today. I feel like it's gonna be like a little bit of a blend of kind of like a what I eat in a day plus a vlog plus like second trimester updates, symptoms, and like a recap. So I feel like this could actually be probably like lots of separate videos, but I'm just gonna combine them all into one. I don't feel like that's a particularly strategic thing to do here on YouTube, but I kind of feel like just sitting down today having a bit of a chat about like everything that's been going on, and I have to eat, so I might as well show you also what I'm eating today. It's almost a little bit more like a food diary video rather than like a what I eat in a day, where I'm like really intending to give you guys like some really great new recipe inspiration. So I have already had breakfast this morning, gone for a walk and all of that jazz. So this morning for breakfast I had some gluten-free sourdough toast. So we've been really loving doing that with our breakfast at the moment, just to like make it a little bit more exciting. Me and Nick will usually have like one piece of toast each. We have also been on the scrambled egg train at the moment. I pretty much have eggs every morning for breakfast. It's just the format of the eggs changes. So for ages we were into like hard-boiled eggs, fried eggs, sunny side up eggs, but at the moment we are doing scrambled eggs. So for breakfast I will have 3 eggs that are scrambled, so that's like 6 eggs total between the two of us. I'll add a little bit of whole milk in there. I think I mentioned in the last video, like I had a good chat about dairy, milk, and all of that jazz. So if you're interested in that, you can jump back to that video. And then with that, I would typically have like a quarter of an avocado, but they did not have any avocados at the shops this week. So avocado-less breakfast. And then with all of that, I like to have a hot chocolate every morning. Like I have a real routine for breakfast. Like I'm getting my eggs and my choline, and I'm gonna get like a good dose of calcium in the mornings. We have a coffee machine with a milk frother, so that makes it really easy in the mornings. And then into that, I like to add about a scoop of collagen peptides. So that adds in also, I'm gonna say about 8 grams. I could be wrong. I feel like it's about 8 grams of protein. And more than just straight protein, it's going to be particularly high in glycine. I've been using the Gel Pro brand at the moment, and I do quite like the packaging. That's a little bonus, the packaging is quite nice. Then I will also do a teaspoon or 2 of raw cacao and a dropper full of stevia. So I use like a liquid stevia, and I just use a little like milk frother, like a little handheld milk frother, to make sure that it's all whisked in there really well, because the last thing that you want is a big clump of dry collagen. We don't want that. And then alongside with my breakfast, I have been trying to make sure that I always include some sauerkraut, so really just getting in that good lactobacilli, good bacteria to support your gut health, which is also going to be really important for little Bubbaroo. That's what we've been calling her, by the way. Me and Nick have been kind of referring to her as Bubbaroo. When I was a kid, I had like a little stuffed kangaroo toy that I used to call Bubbaroo, so that became the name. Very good for Bubbaroo. And that has basically been my breakfast at the moment every single day. Like I'm just someone who gets into real routines, especially when I'm kind of like mindfully trying to hit certain micronutrients throughout the day. So I feel like the easiest way to do that is to have a set kind of routine and kind of like the main foods that I'm trying to target. At the moment, though, I have a cup of chamomile tea in my favorite mug. It's a beautiful mug, and we are currently sitting up in our bedroom, which has had like a huge makeover. I will maybe turn the camera around and show you guys at some point. Okay, just doing a random little bedroom tour for anybody who is interested. This is our little room upgrade, which I'm super happy with. It's probably like the bed isn't made perfectly. We're missing a pillow because we went camping the other weekend and it's gone missing. Well, not gone missing. It's smoky and I have to find a way to deal with it. Anyway, not important. We got a new bed frame. I wish I could show you guys how low it is for reference, but it is quite low. It came with these cute little side tables that are also really nice and low. And yeah, got the twinkly lights out. Very cute. Got the pregnancy pillow that I was talking to you guys about. The other thing that I really like about this pregnancy pillow is that it can like sit on your bed and it doesn't look ugly. Like it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but a lot of the pregnancy pillows, I really wonder what you do with them after you're like not pregnant, because they're so big. They look really hard to store because they're like, you know, just like a whole throne of pillow. But I like this because you can like still kind of make your bed with it. You could like throw it behind the pillows if you want. But yeah, it's just kind of like quite easy to keep on your bed. Looks good, super comfy. So pregnancy pillow, my EMF blanket, because I'm super crunchy like that. For anyone who's interested in my side table at the moment. Recently, I also picked up this rose quartz lamp, which is so much better, honestly, than the Himalayan salt lamps. So I had a Himalayan salt lamp here previously. It ruined my last bedside table. If you've ever had a Himalayan salt lamp, you'll know that they melt when it gets really humid. So I had a bowl underneath it and everything. It was melting all the time. It became like an electrical hazard. The switch was like giving me little zaps. So that went, and I've replaced it with, as I said, like a rose quartz lamp. So when it's off, it's like this sort of pinky color. Super pretty, does not melt with humidity, and just looks like really nice and gives that same warm glow. Because like the one thing that I did want to replicate about the salt lamp is just the fact that it's like that perfect quality of light at nighttime. Like it's like nice and dim and good for like getting you sleepy. Other random things. Current fiction book that I'm reading, I also got a Kobo e-reader, so I'm also reading off of that. I've been really bad actually with reading this one. This is like the last book of the series, and I've been sitting on that for ages because I've just been reading so many more like birth related, pregnancy, parenting books and stuff. So that's kind of been on the back burner. And then I've got this cute little frame that a subscriber actually bought for me, which was super sweet. And I have some pressed flowers in there from our wedding bouquet. So cute. It's also worth mentioning that when we bought this new bed frame, we upgraded the entire bed to a king size bed, because I feel like if you're having kids, if you're having a baby, we're just gonna create more room. Billy often also sleeps in the bed, so I was just like, let's do the upgrade. Before we were in a queen size bed, now we're in like an ocean of bed, which is kind of nice because Billy often takes up like where, you know, she lies horizontal and takes up way more room than she really should. I thought before we kind of jump into like food and like other things in this video, that I might as well sit down and do kind of like a second trimester recap, just in terms of like symptoms, things that have been happening, and check in with you guys because it's been a while since the last video. At the time of filming this, I am currently 27 weeks pregnant, so I feel like I'm qualified to do my second trimester recap now, because it's like I think the last week of second trimester. So 28 weeks, we are moving into third, which is like really crazy. Honestly, I feel like second trimester went like fairly quickly, and I feel like everything gets really real by third trimester, and that's kind of like baby's getting stronger, kicks will be stronger, and of course like birth and labor and all of that part starts to become like a lot more real and something that you're really thinking about. So yes, 27 weeks, and I thought I'd just go through, like, I've written down like a few of the random like little symptoms and things that have been going on during the second trimester, although I don't feel like anything too crazy has been happening second trimester, which I feel like is pretty like common for a lot of women. Like the second trimester is the trimester where I think most people feel their best and most normal. So moving out of first trimester, I had a relatively easy first trimester, but I did experience a lot of fatigue, just being like really tired really early in the night, and I can report that second trimester that really did completely lift. So in terms of energy levels, I've been feeling relatively normal, so I can stay up at nighttime till like, you know, a normal sort of bedtime for me, like 10:30, and feel pretty okay. Whereas before I was getting tired at like sometimes like 7 p.m, 8 p.m, and going to bed just really early. But I feel like as soon as that second trimester hit, energy levels just came back, so that was really nice, and just not really needing like as many naps and things like that. Most days I don't really have a nap unless for whatever reason I haven't slept well. So that maybe is another thing that we could talk about though. Sleep. At the beginning of second trimester, sleep was really fine, but I have been finding over the past like few weeks that sleep has been a little bit more difficult, and that's been for I think a few reasons. So just like the past few weeks, I think especially probably because it's like the transition between second and third trimester, I have been getting just more hip pain at night, especially because when you're pregnant, the advice is typically to try and sleep on your left hand side rather than flat on your back or on your right side. I think you still can sleep on your right side, but left is preferable. Side sleeping. And then I think especially with like extra like weight and like extra belly and all of that, I've just noticed during the night I will get like pain in my hip, like on the side that's digging into the mattress. So then I end up like flipping, and it can be like this kind of backwards and forwards all night trying to just like stay comfortable. So I did have like a week of pretty bad sleep where I just could not stay in one position for longer than 30 minutes. So it's like I'd fall asleep, then I'd wake up with like this hip pain, swap sides, like the same thing over and over. And then the other factor with pregnancy, which I think is also relatively common, is vivid dreaming. I feel like I dream something every single night, but especially when I was having like more hip pain and I was waking up just generally more frequently, every single time that I would wake up and fall back asleep, I would have another vivid dream. But when you're waking up like every 30 minutes, and then going back to sleep for 30 minutes and having like another kind of crazy vivid dream, and not like a continuation dream, if you get what I mean. Like it would be like something new. I feel like in a night I would just be like switching tapes 100 times between all of these different like wacky ideas, and then yeah, like also waking up all the time. So for about a week there, I really struggled with that, but that seems to have come good. So in terms of what is working, at least at the moment, I think is just trying to make the bed even softer than it is. So we actually laid out, like we have like a really thick sleeping bag. Also like a mattress topper I'm sure would be good. Someone did recommend doing a mattress topper, which I might actually end up doing anyway. But kind of in the meantime, we have like this really thick camping sleeping bag that I have like laid down on the bed as well, just to create like more padding so that my hips aren't kind of like jutting into the mattress. And that seems to have for the most part helped. I do still sometimes wake up and get like that little bit of pain, but definitely not as frequently as it was happening before. I do obviously also have like a pregnancy pillow. I have the BB Hug Me one, which I feel is like really popular on YouTube. It's also ungodly expensive. I feel like I'm like, of course I would pick like the most expensive pregnancy pillow that there is, but I heard so many good reviews of this one, people saying like don't bother getting anything else. So we ended up getting the expensive pregnancy pillow, but whatever. It has been really nice. Did not fix the hip pain though, but just makes sleeping so much nicer. It's essentially like this long noodle with it's kind of like a beanbag sort of texture. The inside is like kind of like a beanbag, so it's very soft and like very malleable to your body shape. So incredibly popular. A lot of people recommended it. And then in terms of the vivid dreams, I still dream every night, but at the moment things seem to be slightly more settled. And that might also be because I've been like slightly more strict around like my bedtime routine at the moment. So just really trying to chill out my nervous system to the max before I go to sleep, so that my brain isn't like turning over lots of random ideas. So my wind down routine typically involves like coming up to bed like an hour before I plan to sleep. I'll either do like some breathing exercises in bed, or I'll listen to like a meditation, or like a combination of these usually. The other thing I do is some reading. I've been tossing up reading like a lot of birth related books, and then also like some fiction before I go to sleep. And I'm not reading like huge amounts every night. I'll just read like a few chapters just until you get sleepy, and just to kind of relax, wind down your nervous system so that your dreams aren't like so crazy. So that has been helping the past like week. The past few nights I've actually had like pretty decent, like almost full night's sleep, which is perfect, what we want. I'm gonna breeze through a few more of these. Second trimester, other important things. Obviously, there's been so much more movement from little Bubbaroo, especially at nighttime. She's the most active, like right before bed, kind of like in those earlier hours in the evening, like when you're watching TV and doing things like that. I guess because you're just like very settled at those times. Oh, I just got a little boop then. But she really seems to like favor lying. I think at the moment she's mostly lying like transverse, and she really favors like her head on one side. But yeah, getting a lot of little pokes and jabs from her feet, which has been really fun for me and for Nick, especially like when you get to that point where you can really like see and feel the kicks sort of like from the outside, so that's really fun as well for Nick. And in saying that, my belly has definitely gotten a lot bigger. I feel like you definitely pop in the second trimester, and it's kind of like you get to that point where people actually start to notice, like people that you just walk by on the street or people that you bump into. The other thing that has been really interesting has been weight gain. So just watching the scale move every week has been so interesting. And obviously weight gain is a normal and healthy part of pregnancy, but it's really just like so interesting watching the number go up every week, especially because I feel like I've always been pretty much like around the same weight. Like I don't fluctuate a great deal in terms of my weight. So for reference, I started out at about 65.5 kilos, and I'm fairly tall, so I'm about 5'10"-ish. So started out 65.5, and then currently I think like my most sort of recent measurement that I did was about 74 kilos. So I put on about 8.5 kilos so far, and I feel like third trimester is when you kind of, well, I guess it varies to everyone, but I'm getting the vibe that third trimester is probably where you'll put on like a bit more weight as well. And of course, weight gain during pregnancy is really normal and healthy, and it's supposed to happen like because you're growing a baby and, you know, blood volume is expanding. And also you do need to put on a little bit of fat for breastfeeding and everything that's going to happen later. Still kind of eating pretty similarly to how I was before. I am eating more food in general, I would say, but it's all whole foods and nutrient rich foods, and yeah, like full fat foods, which are really important just for providing all of the micronutrients that me and the baby are gonna need. So yeah, the weight gain hasn't really like been freaking me out or anything like that. I've been keeping things pretty healthy and like pretty much like my standard diet. We do of course still have treats, but not really significantly more than what we were already doing before. So anyway, that is the weight piece. I just find it like very fascinating to watch the scale like jump up every week, and we'll see what happens in third trimester. Other random things that have been changing lately, pregnancy, like constipation is very real. Everything kind of slows down during pregnancy, and obviously there's like a reshuffle of your organs as well. So previous to this, I was not really prone to like constipation. This is like a lovely topic, but this is what you need to hear. I wasn't really super prone to constipation, but that has been like a growing issue lately. So I'm really just trying to get onto that with like more basic measures. So fiber, making sure that you're drinking enough water. Magnesium is good too at nighttime. But yeah, that is definitely something that I've noticed as well. Random things, my hair is less oily, so I used to have to wash my hair like every 2 days. I could easily go like 5 days now without washing my hair. So whatever hormonal symphony is going on at the moment, it's resulting in less oily scalp and hair, which I can get on board with. That's very handy when you don't have to wash your hair so often. And then the only other thing that I would mention as a symptom that I think is related to pregnancy, again, like I find it hard with like the more mental aspect, whether it is just me or whether it's the pregnancy, but I do feel like I've been just like generally more emotional and like just kind of moody. Like I get into funks where it's like I feel like I'm on a wave, like I'm riding all these waves, just about even silly things. So like the other day I feel like I looked at Billy and she was looking real cute and I started crying because she was so cute. Or just yesterday on the weekend, I had like a little meltdown, not like a big meltdown, but I had like a little like a little ugly cry by myself for a second there, because none of my clothes fit me and I didn't want to wear like the same thing again. I think it was just like this like bit of frustration about not having like many clothing option choices, which is like a ridiculous thing. Like logically it is a ridiculous thing to be upset about, but I just feel like you're at that point where like for whatever reason you emotionally cannot handle like the slightest inconvenience. So that was kind of funny. Like, even while it's happening, you know that it's completely silly and stupid. None of my clothes fit me is also the other thing. Trying to do the maternity clothes thing. I did invest in some nice maternity, what do you call these? Tracksuit pants sort of thing, but they're like high-waisted, so they do still go with a lot of the tops that I have. So that's been nice, but yes, clothing definitely a little bit more challenging. In mentioning that, I don't feel bad at all about like the body changes. I've felt like really fine. I've actually felt really good about the body changes, if anything. Like you feel like very beautiful when you're pregnant, but the clothing, like it's just the inability to dress yourself how you want to, or like, yeah, it does get like a little bit frustrating. That has been like obviously bothering me, at least yesterday. And that is really it, or all I can think of at the moment in terms of symptoms. I was like expecting that I was gonna get like more swollen, bleeding gums, things like that, but it has not happened as yet. It might be a third trimester thing. The other thing is that in the first trimester I needed to pee like all the time, and I was waking up like 2 to 3 times a night just to go and pee. In the second trimester, I thought that that would definitely be more of a problem because baby is like growing, but actually it's been the opposite. I like need to pee a lot less these days. I'm drinking like the same amount of water. However, like I can sleep through the night now without needing to go to the bathroom. We'll see how long that lasts, because I imagine in third trimester, just as she gets physically bigger, she'll be pressing on my bladder a bit more. But as it stands, do not need to pee as frequently in second trimester, which is interesting. And I'm not quite sure why that might be, but that is everything that I think I wanted to mention in terms of like a second trimester recap. We will get on with the rest of today's vlog. I thought we should also do like a little bump update. Obviously, we are inside the walk-in like wardrobe situation because this is the only place that I have a full-length mirror, so just ignore everything that's going on. I would like to move this mirror into a different spot. One recommendation I would actually have if you've just gotten pregnant or if you're on your pregnancy journey is to invest in a full-length mirror and then put it in a spot that's nice so that you can take like a few photos as you go through, because I feel like I have like no photo evidence of this pregnancy because this is the only spot in the apartment that we have this full-length mirror. So I might try and lug it downstairs at some point, but at the moment it's up here in a not very well lit, cute position. But yeah, so this is what we are looking like front on. These are the pants that I bought that are like maternity pants. So they're kind of like high-waisted, which is nice because I have a lot of like little crop toppy sort of situations that look cute. But yeah, that is side bump, and I feel like more importantly like the actual belly. So this is the situation. So yeah, I feel like we're starting to get like a bit of the line, and the belly button has been making its way out for a while now. But yeah, that is the belly situation at 27 weeks. So I also have just cut up some chicken thighs and I'm going to add in some spices. So we have some coriander powder and some paprika, salt and pepper. So lunch today, as you would have seen, we have some baked sweet potato, some sauteed greens, so zucchini and some asparagus today, and then chicken thighs. I've just popped some spices on, grilled them off, and yeah, that's like my really simple lunch today. I feel like I haven't actually like made lunch for like quite a few weeks. We've been doing like more like meal prep and stuff, so usually I feel like lunch is already like made, but a little less prepared with the meal prep at the moment, so made up this little bowl. But yeah, I'm gonna eat some lunch and we'll check in later. So it's about 4 p.m. I am having like a snack slash kind of more than a snack. This is like a mini meal, but I've been doing a lot of like little yogurt bowls. This is a little bit different today, just depending on like what fruit we managed to get. So I basically do like some full fat yogurt, then I add in blueberries with some antioxidants, and I usually add in kiwi fruit as well. So kiwi fruit, blueberries. Kiwi fruit is just really nice. It's actually super high in vitamin C and a really good source of fiber, but I didn't have kiwi fruits today, so I chopped up like a baby pear and threw it in there. So this bowl looks like way massive because of the pear, but it's not normally that crazy. Then I like to add in some activated buckwheat, just like 2 teaspoons or so, or like buckinis, just to add like a little bit of crunch. Do some bee pollen in there as well, like just a teaspoon or so, and then depending on how I'm feeling, I might throw in some nuts. So I just do like, actually like quite a small amount. I'm really just going after the crunch today. Like a few pecans, and I just like to break them up and like sprinkle them over the top, or I'll do like 2 Brazil nuts and like chop them up, so that just adds like a little bit of crunch as well. Things that I didn't film today that I just didn't pull out the camera. I did also have 2 pieces of 90% dark chocolate and 2 Brazil nuts. So already did my Brazil nuts today, hence the pecans. So yeah, I am going to eat my little snack. I pretty much do this every day. Again, like I like to add in the yogurt like at least once a day just for the calcium, and then I would usually actually eat like a snack in the morning and then in the afternoons. But if I had like a second major snack throughout the day, it would usually be like a piece of fruit with some organic grass-fed cheese, just because again, in terms of calcium, cheese is the best like bang for your buck, especially hard cheeses. Soft cheeses not really worth bothering with in terms of calcium so much, but hard cheeses are probably like the best, like most concentrated source. So that's usually my other snack if I'm doing that, and especially like coming into like the 3rd trimester, where in terms of like the baby's development, we're looking mostly at like overall growth and size. I think really focusing on calcium as well as other things too. Calcium isn't everything, but you know, calcium, vitamin A, vitamin D, K2, all the things that you need to build and lay the foundations for healthy, strong bones. So I'm just being really mindful of that. Okie dokie. So it is much later and Nick is here.
Hi.
Say hello. Made his appearance. And we're gonna just make like a really simple dinner. So we actually, last night for dinner, we did like a rolled lamb roast. So we're actually gonna have the same thing for dinner tonight, but I'm just going to do up some roast vegetables, but like the lamb component is sorted. So in terms of veggies that we're gonna be cooking, I have like half a head of cauliflower, a little beetroot that I'm gonna chop up, and then we have 3 Dutch cream potatoes. These are like the best for roasting. I think we've decided that these are our favorite. So I'm just gonna get those started in the oven, probably pop the lamb in at some point to like cook that through. Really simple. And then while that's cooking, I'm probably gonna do like a little workout. So in terms of workouts, just keeping things pretty simple. I like to do some squats, like some weighted squats, some like banded crab walk type things, sort of like a hip thrust. It's not actually a hip thrust, but something like that. And then just a few arm exercises and things. So I'm keeping it all pretty simple, but anyway, I'm gonna get to starting dinner so that I can cook while I'm doing my other stuff. Okay, veggies are all ready to go into the oven. I've just popped on salt and pepper and some fresh rosemary from the garden, which we've been doing a lot recently, but yeah, super simple. All right, workout is finished and dinner is ready. So we have our potatoes, beetroot, cauliflower and lamb. Looking good. Now I'm just gonna eat. Okay. And last but not least, we have something special for dessert tonight. So Nick on the weekend made a ricotta baked cheesecake. So gonna have a slice of that. But it's crumbly. But there's really not that many ingredients. Oh, wait, it's gotta focus. Don't want to be able to focus. What's in the cheesecake, Nick?
Ricotta, bit of honey, mixed a bit of maple in it too, some eggs and some cream.
Yeah, so it's actually like a fairly simple little dessert. Nothing too crazy. Oh, and some blueberries thrown in the top. So going to enjoy a little bit of cheesecake and probably watch some TV.